So far, my FOF experience has been really positive. This season so far, I've played jungle, and now I think I'm pretty comfy on mid. We've already played Washington quals, and they're up next, so I have pretty high expectations for my team moving forward.
My FOF experience so far has been a pretty good one. I've enjoyed the competitive feel. This is my first time doing something like this because most of my experience has been just solo queue and doing Clash, which isn't as intense as this, I would say. But I'm having fun so far.
From Swifty, it's going to slow him enough for Valiancy to Sheen auto him and take him out.
I think Wednesday's champion pool is like really, really boring. So I'm like most worried about falling asleep in the first 10 minutes of our game. He likes to play the like slow scaling champions. So I think it will be interesting to see the styles clash. He seems fine, but like Civilic took advantage of him with the assassin mid, so I think I could maybe replicate something like that.
We only played against her in qualifiers, and I believe she was on jungle at the time, so I haven't really laned against her at all. But looking at her match history, she's a Vex player just like me. So that'll be pretty interesting. It seems like we share a common interest in the same types of champions, but I'm looking forward to playing against her.
These other teams, and look at how well done these team fights are as we immediately see Nonex Anime try to go back in. They finally find the Zeri, taking very low HP. The W is there, and though Wednesday able to burst down and finally kill off that Bully Bear once again. Min is stuck in the middle of the enemy team and will go down to follow up. Slowbro on the side. Can you hold this? Yon has to make it back to base here.
I was really surprised that they ended up being in the tournament after they didn't make it through qualifiers. Pretty cool for them to show up, and then they're I think they're a 3-3 team right now, so that looks pretty good for them. But they'll be a 3-4 team pretty soon, so it doesn't matter.
I think we're just going to stick to what we've been trying to do: scaling comps. Don't play aggressive and then just let our champion scale. That's typically what works best for us, so I believe that's what the strategy we're going to stick to. My last thought is Barbituate sucks.
Welcome back to Friend or Foe Esports, everybody. Week 4, day 1 of our Helios League. After a little bit of a delay, we are headed right into game number 2 on the night. On the blue side, we have New Wave Tsunami, and on the red side, we have Team Washed. And after a really close game 1 where AWE almost picked up their first win of the split, we're heading right into the match of the week. As always, my name is Whirler, and casting alongside me tonight, we have Found.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And wow, that was definitely a long delay. But now that we're back, it is good to have this game starting right back up. Really quick picks and bans coming out. The New Wave did lose a ban due to the delay. We're not going to say who caused it, but they did lose one, and that's going to be Diana and Shaco taken away from Team Watch, with Hecarim, Zeri, and Volibear being taken away from New Wave Tsunami. So well done. And okay, we're getting spicy already with the Twitch Lulu being selected up. Everyone knows Twitch is one of my favorite picks, one of the most interesting AD carries in the meta right now. He has, with how much damage he can put out and basically his weirdly inconsistent, consistent playstyle. So I'm really excited to see what Barbitua is going to be able to do with him.
Someone who really likes Twitch. I'm an avid fan of the champion. He's not too favorable into the meta, and I actually was thinking about this last night. The Twitch versus Jinx matchup is just so bad for Jinx because you're basically a worse version of the champion. You're a late game scaling champion, 3-item power spike into 4-item, you wash a team. But Jinx literally just does that better. It's a little bit sad, but I'm excited to see Twitch Lulu, though. That's a pairing that is made in heaven. And on the opposite side, we have Camille, Jinx, and Nautilus locked in. We have another Jinx Nautilus lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the difference between the two AD carries, at least while Twitch has his spray and pray on, isn't very substantial. And Twitch has always kind of had his biggest problem be that he's a steroid champion. He really needs to get all of the damage he's going to put out in the team fight when spray and pray is on, when the ambush passive is still on after with the attack speed bonus. And after that, he just becomes super useless. So that's kind of one of the reasons why he's gated from pro play in some of the higher levels is he doesn't consistently provide that huge sustained damage that you would want from AD carry, and he's really burst oriented, which is counterintuitive to what an AD carry is meant to do.
Right. And with that being said, we are heading on to the ban phase of the draft. Malzahar being taken off right out of the gate. Honestly, one of my favorite champions to ban. I personally don't like building an AD item as a mage in order to play against that champion. Not very fun. With that being said, though, is sort of gonna corner Sunny in terms of pool.
Yep, Malzahar, the easy mid lane matchup being taken away. Just really trying to lend credence to that. They do not want Wednesday to kind of have to lane into something that where Sunny is going to be able to just neutralize the lane. They want an aggressive mid lane matchup to let Wednesday kind of use some of the style that he's managed to demonstrate throughout the league so far. So that is taking away Malzahar does lend credence to that. But with Veigar also being taken away, now the mid lane champion pool is going to be leaning towards those more aggressive picks. And now with Corki, the ultimate neutralizer is gone. Now I expect to see something either really hyper into the mid lane mage pool, which is like a Victor Syndra, or something more aggressive, maybe some assassins.
Definitely. So a lot of things still open, ready to pick. These matchups so far are looking pretty good. We got Camille versus Urgot in the top lane, which looks really good so far. Fiddlesticks, that's a, wow, nice one being locked in for GodX Anime. Fiddlesticks locked in for potentially the jungle. Doubt it's going to be mid. And honestly, a pick that you don't really see all too often here on the old competitive Rift.
Yeah, really committing to the AoE damage format of the team composition. Fiddlesticks does work very well with what Twitch wants to do when he opens up. He wants to get as much damage out. Allowing those resets on the ambush to come through is also extremely helpful. So that AoE damage and coming out is really centric to where Wash is going, and I expect their mid laner to kind of err on the side of that also, as New Wave is going to take away the Trundle, which is very good into the Urgot, makes him basically paper when he goes in. And I do like that selection if you do want some more peel into this backline.
And for the mid lane, we have Galio locked in, champion we've been seeing come back in the meta as well with Aftershock in the mid lane. I'm really liking that pick. They have a very Jinx-centered team. And to be honest, it is not like AWE's draft at all. They have a lot to play for here on New Wave Tsunami. With you can't just sit there and laugh at that Camille damage. The Camille, such a good champion for backup damage, and with the amount of peel between Nautilus, Trundle, and Galio, I'm a little bit scared of New Wave Tsunami's comp.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when it comes down to picks, I think this is definitely two interesting compositions, stuff that we haven't seen before. I mean, I'm thanking God that there's some variation in the meta finally. And while I think that Team Wash may have gotten the upper hand in draft, I do like their synergy a little bit more. We are going to see something special and something different more than anything else with the big AoE wombo from Team Wash and the kind of sustained protect the Jinx composition from New Wave.
That being said, I'm going to put my prediction on New Wave Tsunami. How about for you?
Oh, I just said Team Wash. I cannot in good conscience go with New Wave in this this composition that they've drafted here.
And we're heading right on to game number 2 of the night. NWT sticking together as 5. Going to walk it into the jungle. Not going to spot anyone out just yet. They are going to get caught here. Flash hook is going to hit the wall. Gets the flash out of Johnny Tsunami. Tsunami is going to have to flash out of that one. That's a good summoner to take out of Wash.
Absolutely. I mean, sad that hook actually wasn't going to land either way, but good flash coming out from Johnson to make himself be safe, at least if the potential you don't want to give up an early first blood.
Oh, dear Lord.
But I mean, it's probably more detrimental at this point for the Nautilus not to have his than the Lulu. The Lulu can play a lot safer in lane than Nautilus can. And the Fiddlesticks clearing extremely fast and coming from a level 3 surprise gank is something that we wouldn't at least be expecting, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do go for that option.
Very, very true. There's a lot of emote spam going on here in the spot side of the map, and I'm all for it. You said something about synergy between the team, and if there's any synergy that I've seen on the Rift, it's emote spamming with your teammates. Top side start for Team NWT, and it's going to be a bottom start for Wash. Looking pretty good. Wednesday going to take a little bit of poke to start off the game.
Yep, good bomb on the reprisal. I mean, this is the type of matchup that really benefits Zillion when he gets to have a lane where this isn't going to be super aggressive. Both mid laners are just here for the games.
Ooh, kicking off the lane with a hook. Ollie getting onto Lulu almost instantaneously. Isn't going to result in anything, though. But here in the top lane, PJ Saul getting the flip onto Valiancy. Valiancy is going to be able to walk out of that one. A lot of engage, but not a lot of follow-up.
No, not at all. I mean, at this point in the game, Jinx was completely out of range, so isn't going to get that much follow-up damage coming through on that end. And then the Camille isn't going to really be pressured out with the Urgot having this getting the flip when the shield came through right after. So very slow, but as I was trying to say, Zillion, this is the matchup that really benefits Zillion when he has a neutralizing lane where he's not going to be getting pressured and not going to be under immediate kill threat in the mid game. So I do like this selection. I think this was a fantastic last pick counter for what was being selected up.
Definitely so, and it's actually going to be Predator on the Galio, so more roam-centric. I mean, that is the point of the champion, but going to be less tanky coming into the team fight era of this game is going to amount into a big difference because they have two pseudo tanks with Trundle and Nautilus, Galio being their only like true tank. So it's going to be a little risky for Sunny as she heads into like the mid to late game. Isn't going to amount to a lot and could create a lot of early pressure in the game though.
Dude, Wednesday has like 100% accuracy on these double bombs. He's landed 3 in a row. That is not supposed to happen in this lane. As Galio's taking a pretty decent health chunk, as now this is the dash.
Good route onto Barbiturate as he's trying to get himself out of there. Has to bust the heal. Is taken very low. Twitch, not the best early game in the game. And with the Doran start on this Twitch, gonna slow down his power spikes just a little bit. I really enjoy going longsword first on AD carries, just because getting your Noon Quiver power spike is so important in this meta right now. But with the extra sustain, should be able to get out of lane a little bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I'm of the mindset that Doran's Blade is basically is one of the worst options for starting items at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, Longsword 3 pots just gives you so much more sustain, and 80 carries aren't really taking super heavy all-in trades anymore. I mean, this lane is a little bit more understandable because, hey, you have the Nautilus coming in. He's going to look to try to fight you, and that extra 80 HP could be useful. But when you have a Lulu who wants to play that sustained kind of a health pool game, I feel like Longsword 3 pots would have given a lot more value.
I'll be right.
Indeed, Barbiturate is going to get hooked up a little bit too far, forced to bust out the flash. No more summoners on this rat. Bumping it into Ollie, though. Going to get as much damage returned as he can. Isn't going to result in too much. Just a flash burned and half HP bars. Sunny, she's taking a gank from GodX Anime. Fiddlesticks coming in. Is going to get a little bit more damage on the Galio. Isn't going to burn anything else. Give me a reset. Taking a couple autos in the bot lane.
Yep, damage coming out, and that's going to be the mana pools really hit from what we've gotten so far. So that is the punishment coming through. Barbiturate struggling in this lane so far. This is going to be a really disadvantageous recall. If he does choose to take it. He's going to miss this entire wave, and this could put him at least 10 or 11 CS behind, maybe more. And with the wave pushing away from him with no flash up, so really good wave management and smart.
Not to mention,
yeah,
go on.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Barbiturate right now.
Not to mention the Boots dagger buy. It's not terrible because early boots on Twitch. Twitch is one of the 80 carries that actually likes early boots. However, it's just you lose so much time on your Noon Quiver. Is it worth it? Oh.
Well, in this matchup specifically, it is a little bit more worth it than typical because Twitch is heavily outranged by the Jinx rockets, so move speed different does allow you to get in range and not get traded on as heavily. If the spacing is going really well for giving me a reset and he's like max range with his rockets and isn't going to get getting auto traded back. So I can see why you would go boots, and the attack speed is going to be really relevant. Plus, I feel like at this point he's just concerned about dodging the hooks because he hasn't been able to do so, so the extra move speed is going to help that in also.
With that being said, Swifty picking up first dragon of the game, sneaking in at level 4, is going to get the Infernal for New Wave Tsunami. A bit of a damage advantage. And so far, looking at the lane so far, Camille's going to really enjoy that, and I sure as heck know Jinx will.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Really going to enjoy that influx when that is going to come available. But from the way the lanes are going, you're not that upset if from the setup right now. Twitch is going to be able to get a safe push out. The Trundle isn't going to be here to punish, so Swiftly isn't going to be able to find that heavy engage. And even though he is going to be quite far behind the CS, probably about around 10 or 11, if this wave is collected up by the Jinx, I mean, it's not awful for where they want to be in this game state.
It's very true. Gold's still very close. No first blood just yet, but I could be wrong. As Swifty comes into the top lane, PJ Salt does have flash to burn. Is going to get Hextech ultimatum. He is going to be going down here. Is not going to be able to get out alive. First blood going to Valiancy. I'm just caster cursing the heck out of today, aren't I?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As soon as they go in, that's going to be the first blood getting collected up, nice and easy, no struggle on that one. But I mean, at that point, you have to. Team Watch knew, well, basically that the Urgot was going to have his life traded. It's very difficult to play around the Hextech ultimatum in the early game, especially if you're in the midpoint. Plus, Trundle is very good when you have low mobility, like the Urgot. So, a small punish, but not the end of the world for where these lanes were at.
Definitely so. And looking in towards the bot lane now, checking back in. Closing the gap on that CS lead that Give Me a Reset had. Revitruit is it's going to be only one down, assuming Jinx gets all of these. Very, very good for him to help get himself back in the game. No kills were given over yet, so it's not a huge deficit in the bot lane here. Looking very good. Twitch scales, Jinx scales, so both AD carries, assuming this lane goes about the same, not pushed in a direction too heavily, should be very fine on either side.
Yeah, that really indicates to me that there was a lot of CS missed under the tower, and it is a little bit of a punish. But this is kind of the point in the laning phase where the Twitch Lulu is online when it comes to safety. I mean, if Ali hooks in, he could easily just get his life traded away. There's just so much damage that comes out, plus the Whimsy on the Jinx is going to be the answer if you hook the Twitch. So I do like the setup, and it's really going to be on Ali to find plays elsewhere, because this bot lane is not going to be an easy way to get punishments on.
Definitely so, and we do have GodX Anime chilling here, ready with that level 6 if needed. Revitruit still 5, is going to get snap trapped just a little bit, is so isn't going to be able to apply too much post hitting 6.
Yeah, they don't know GodX Anime is here looking for the gank. I mean, Ali was on a roam timer, so there was no way to really find that avenue in. Twitch is going to opt to stay, and they are just going to continue laning with low mana pools, so the opposition to be punished is going to be there, and Galio is going to have the move, as Zilean is getting shoved in quite heavily and has no mana available on himself.
And with that being said, we're back at a steady neutral in this game. Twitch is going to be able to pick up the Noon Quiver on the first back. Very, very good for him. Jinx should be able to pick up a pickaxe on this, as the wave looks like... It doesn't look like it should freeze on this. I think they shouldn't leave just yet. But with that being said, they are going to correct that. Jinx taking a bit of CS lead back after Twitch catching back up is looking pretty good. But so far, I would like to talk a little bit about the team comps and what the win conditions are for this game. What do you think?
Well, the win condition for Team Wash is obviously just have really tight, close-up, explosive team fights where there's a multi-man fear. GodX Anime is getting into the back line and able to punish extremely heavily on that end. And with the Twitch opening up and it isn't being pressured, it is not taking a lot of heavy pressure. And on the opposite end of that, you're going to try to use your Camille to hop in onto this Twitch, get him pressured out, make the spray and pray useless, because the spray and pray isn't as good when it's used defensively. And with the Galio combination, I mean, it's basically unavoidable if that Hextech ultimatum lands on a priority target.
And that is a good synergizing combo from NWT. It is very underrated too, and very underused. I mean, Hextech ultimatum and I don't remember the name of Galio's ultimate. However, it could result in a very disgusting team fight.
Yeah,
Hero's entrance, I'm being told. That is correct. I do remember that. But there's a bot lane fight going on with this dragon coming up, and Swifty is going to be taking very low. GodX Anime is going to get Zilean ulted. Swifty is not going to be so lucky as Sunny. She's going in with the hero's entrance, forced to flash out. Give Me a Reset is in a bad spot. Barbituate loves these kinds of situations. Close quarters fighting, is going to pop the spray and pray, is going to pick up a kill. That's going to be 3 people going down on NWT and a mountain dragon in Wash's pocket.
Yep, fantastic ultimate on Wednesday, getting the good res, making it a very difficult composition. Zilean is very hard to fight, and you kind of see why these type of compositions are really punished by this type of last pick, because this is really all single target damage. They want to dive in onto one person and explode them, but with the Zilean ultimate just being able to res someone for free, I mean, there isn't that much AoE that comes in after that. And the main reason we don't see the Galio Camille combo as often as we used to is because that requires your mid laner to play Galio. And this champion has been struggling to find his way into the meta, as he just seems to never really be tanky enough or never really do enough damage to be kind of good at either option.
With that being said, I still do like the pick. I do think it's coming back, especially with Aftershock, because applying just that much more tankiness to your team with more peel as well. Mid lane is such a crucial role where it's not just damage anymore. Rather, it's just the amount of pressure that your mid lane can produce. And when you're a damage dealer, that's just getting ahead. When it comes to when it comes to having an extra tank, I think that's very valuable in and of itself, because it allows other lanes to... It allows for more flexible options, which you don't get to see a lot in the meta. Ollie going to hook onto Wednesday, though. Wednesday does have the ult, but he is opting to flash out just instead.
Yeah, and I do definitely understand where you're coming from on that one. There is a lot of options for your team composition when you can't go this route. It does allow your mid laner to be on a more utility role where it's not going to be the focus and you can really play around these side lanes, which definitely seems to be what NWT was going for, but... they just haven't really been able to find that many proactive ultimates on the side. As PG Salt's going to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Swift is going to get flipped. PJ Salt. It is going to be 2v2. The ultimate from Fiddle is coming up, and a fear on to Valiancy is going to almost secure a W. Oh my god. PJ Salt almost going to take it on there, but he is going to pick up the double kill. Very well played. Does lose the tower to the Rift Herald. Isn't going to lose much more. And to finish the point that I was making before all those team fights did break out, when you have a tank on your team versus a damage dealer that's forced to get ahead in order to apply that pressure, the tank just has easier access to apply pressure, especially Galio with the global ultimate that Sunny has under her belt.
Yep, absolutely. Proactivity is very important with that ultimate. The amount of space it can create, it is a massive zone of protection. It does still also give that magic damage shield. People always often forget about that because it did used to be a flat damage reduction, which was absolutely busted. But it does give a magic damage shield that will protect from that extra damage, which is very good against a champion like Fiddlesticks, like Zillion, who do basically entirely magic damage, and the Twitch, who does a very high proportion of his damage and magic, even when he does build AD.
Wait, what part of Twitch does magic damage, actually?
I believe it's his passive is true damage from the poison ticking, but I think there's a portion of it that I think that is magic damage. I'm not 100% sure. It might be the ratio on the expunge.
I don't think there is any there's no magic damage. Oh wait.
Yeah, there we go.
There is a portion.
It's contaminated. Yeah, so it's on the contaminate. Yeah, that's
look at that. I've been playing that champion since that was called Expunge, and I didn't even notice that. Yeah, Deadly Venom is always going to be true damage, but I did not know that Expunge was given a magic damage. I knew it was given an AP scaling, but with that being said, that's something new.
It's a really high ratio, actually. Like there's a reason why Twitch used to have some AP builds in the meta. I mean, it's a really, really high ratio.
Oh yeah. I knew AP Twitch existed because of the scaling, but I didn't know it also had magic damage. I thought it just converted to physical.
Oh, it's complete. Yeah, it's complete magic damage. Actually, he gets stunted really heavily by people building MR, but no one knows that because they see Twitch and assume it's AP, and then no one builds MR, and he starts to one-shot people just because of that. But I mean, that and the amplification is the application from multiple stacks on true damage is also very good, even though Twitch has one of the worst stacking mechanics in the game. His poison is by far the weakest out of every champion that has some form of it. So I actually wonder if Riot would ever make his poisons more impactful, but they probably would err away from that because I don't know if people are the boomers in the chat, but for people remember when Draven used to have a bleed effect on his autos.
Please no.
Riot did not like that.
I think, see, as a Twitch main myself, I think I'm more than fine with the poison just being an anti-health regen. I don't think it needs to be any more than that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would fit his kit for the poison to actually matter, more so than just him kind of just pulling the stacks out of you as you were. But
very true. Hex Dragon coming up in 15 seconds. Godex Anime is down on the side. We do have Swifty and Sunny off to the side as well. But Valiancy popping the second Rift Herald of the game onto the top lane. This poor Urgot is just losing all of his turrets to Shelly. This one doesn't look like it's going to be too impactful. It's going to get a charge now. But Valiancy is going to get oh my god, hecka punished in this top lane. Rift Herald's not going to be able to take that tower. Almost a kill for PJ's Hall. But in the bot lane, we got a hook going on to Ollie. Godex Anime is popping the ult and Zanya's. Jinx is going to go down to Barbiturate. We do have the spray and pray going down, and it is going to result in the bot lane going back to the base and they're going to be able to pick up a Hex Dragon for themselves. Swifty's off to the side, so there's a potential to steal.
Yep, Team Wash is on the roll, though, winning another team fight in this bot lane river, getting the pressure out on PJ Salt and preventing Camille from really being able to get angles. And with that blast cone going down, Swift is going to either need to flash in, but it doesn't look like he's going to get his options to go in. He doesn't have any idea how much health this dragon has because that pink ward is out of vision of the pit. So that is going to be an easy select up, and Godix Anime is going to grab it, so well done on that part. But since we were talking about Twitch, and it should be a little bit of a lull state for the time, Arcane Season 2, if they do stay in Piltover, which I very much hope they do not, because there's so many areas of this lore to explore. You know, if I had my way, they would go to they would go to Ionia or Noxus, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. But anyway, if they do stay in Zon, will we see Twitch?
So that's the thing. If you remember in Arcane episode 1, they were doing tests on that rat. I had thought initially that those same tests would produce Twitch. With that being said, if they do stay in Piltover and Zon in the next season of Arcane, I'm hoping they touch on that because that would be a great way to introduce the birth of Twitch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the birth of Twitch, maybe get some more Singed lore in there. There's a lot of champions in Zon that would be really interesting to see showcased. I mean, it's just so sad because Ruse Hera has so much lore and so much interesting stories. I mean, the Riot Dev team that does their lore basically has been carrying the game for like 6 years at this point. So
that's as long as they've been making Arcane, so it checks out.
Yeah, so at this point, you mean we need to take this world to some other places. Here's the ultimate coming in.
Brain going out on Give Me a Reset. Give Me a Reset going to be taken really low. Galio ultimate onto Give Me a Reset is not going to save anything as both bot laners are going down. The good dive. Zillion ult is going to get on the GodX Anime. Is going to be knocked up and not under tower just yet. PJ Salt came down with the TP. Is still fighting. Valiancy is feared and running away. Still 2 for none so far on the side of Wash. And this is looking pretty darn close. Or not even close, but this is looking pretty darn good for Team Wash as they're going to try to break open bot lane off of this push. Actually, they're going to back off.
Yep, not going to get anything further, but a lot of damage and pressure as the flash comes out from Barbiturates.
Does flash the hook shot from Camille. The Urgot ult is going to pick him up. He's going to be grinded to a pulp. But here in the mid lane, Swifty is going to be able to pick up a tier 1 to trade after that. Very, very good macro on him to get an objective while they're doing that dive bottom lane. They are going to trade the bot tier 1 tower for it, however.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can just feel the frustration oozing off of NWT right now. This is such a difficult composition to play into. I mean, the Zillion ultimate is just going to always be there if you're trying to burst out a single target. And once again, a big ultimate to manage to get a really good save onto Godix Anime.
And they're going for more. They're not backing off just yet. Sprain Prey is back up off cooldown. He's using it. Give Me a Reset. Getting exhausted. Is going to go back to base. Back-to-back deaths. That is so tilting, and that is also why I really love Twitch. The ultimate cooldown is 90 seconds reduced, or 90 seconds flat, and any and all, like, CDR or anything like that, like a blue buff or Transcendence or anything like that, just makes that much more of an impact. Because it's such a low cooldown by itself. But with that being said, that was a minute and a half. That was a flat 90 seconds of that fight.
Yep, I mean, it's just one of those ultimates that are just very impactful. And you can see kind of why it's a lower cooldown ultimate, because it does need, it basically, Twitch isn't a champion when he doesn't have it up. But, I mean, as Punishers, I mean, as it's been, Give Me a Reset isn't going to get any resets to this game the way it's gone. I mean, at this point, if he ever walks up, Twitch outranges Jinx autos with Spray and Pray active. So if you're in range to hit him, he's in range to hit you. And it's only going to take 1 or 2 for that Jinx to be headed back to the base.
That is very true. Getting the Runans going for the Twitch 5-0 so far. Hopefully an IE coming after that very soon. Give Me a Reset, picking up a red buff. Barbiturate is having a really good game right now. He's going to get taunted. Let's see how much of a good game he's having after this one. Pops the Spray and Pray once more. Sunny, she's getting out alive, but isn't going to get the crab.
Yeah, absolutely. Sonny, very smart, knowing that it was really time to get out of dodge. I mean, I know how what we were discussing earlier about the Galio pick and one of the things that you can do to make it more impactful. But this isn't the Aftershock Galio that has that extra tankiness when that ultimate goes. This is the Predator Galio. So if you're not getting those roams off, you're not getting that heavy advantage, you are just as squishy as every other mid laner in the game, and Twitch will absolutely obliterate you with any extra auto. So good trade to force out the Lulu ultimate, but that's going to be all she wrote for that one.
I do like Predator on Galio sometimes, but in this situation, it should be used to get your Jinx ahead. When you pick a hyperscaling bot lane, especially, Wash had a great example of how to play this one out. It is very important to get them as far ahead as you can. And so when you pick something like Predator Galio, you have access to get your Jinx ahead. Whereas Aftershock would honestly be a good option because you can be extra, or you can be more tanky, and you can apply more peel for your hyper carry Jinx. In this situation, though, I feel like the timer has sort of run out to try to get your Jinx ahead. So it's the Predator Galio is going to be so squishy in these coming fights.
Oh, this is going to be the fight coming out.
On the Lulu, getting the ulti onto Fiddlesticks to cancel the ultimate before it even comes out. He's going to have to pop the W.
Oh, you're fighting in the corridor.
And Swifty flashing over the wall to try to hit Wednesday and God X Anime. Valiancy with a good hook shot is going to be able to get that, but on the other side of the fight, Barbiturate with the spray and pray is going to pick up 2. So far, it's an even fight so far. Swifty is going to go down to the bomb. Wednesday picking it up, making it a different story. And Valiancy is going to be able to round that one out back, but Barbiturate is here. He is ready. Sunny alive. She's going to get a double taunt, and they are both going to go down. Good freaking Lord. What a team fight.
1,000 golds collected up for Sunny, a massive influx to this Galio, but that fight could have been a disaster. Basically, the ultimates were layered, really, really disproportionate. So we're gonna break this down and see exactly what happened in this team fight as it's shaping up. You see the angles coming in. The Predator is gonna come in. Barbiturate is gonna be forced to walk all the way out because of the pressure. Now the CC comes in, and the ultimate from Zillion is used extremely early. Godex Anime doesn't get the res, so the ultimate drops. Now Wednesday doesn't have that available for when the focus is coming onto Urgot, and it doesn't really provide much after that. So even though the Twitch does manage to pick up kills on the backside, he's so low HP, and all of his utility is basically gone. So when Wednesday gets this trade kill onto Swiftly, that is fantastic, but he does not have enough HP to survive Valency's Camille, as he does get that Q2. And with that shutdown coming in, now it's a 2v1, but you're face checking into the Galio, who has the ward coverage, and the taunt is there, and that's all the damage that you needed. And the expunge just isn't going to be there in time. So well done onto Sunny, basically cleaning up that play, as she's the only one who's left alive.
With that being said, with all of those shutdowns that were just picked up, NWT got just what they need to get back into that game. They got paid, all of them. So many shutdowns were just delivered over, and Sunny picking up 1,000 gold in addition to 350 from the Lulu. Holy, NWT are back in this, and the gold lead has closed out to a mere 1,000.
Yeah, yes, the gold lead has definitely closed, but let's remember before we get too hyped that the gold allocation is extremely important of where that gold went to. So the gold right now has landed onto the utility, which is fantastic for the Galio to have some extra bursts available, but it isn't really where your team fight pressure is going to come into. Basically, give me a reset at this point is a strong cannon minion, so until that shapes up a little bit differently, they're still going to have a lot of pressure and a lot of danger in these team fights. And it's still going to be on win or lose on Barbiturate and on Wednesday to see how they manage to navigate these fights. But that was the first time we saw a fight where the Zillion ultimate was used extremely improperly. You basically saw the layering of the Lulu ultimate on top of the Zillion ultimate, keeping Fiddlesticks alive when he wanted to die. So at that point, that was the big struggle. So if those two ultimates basically aren't thrown haphazardly, it's still a very difficult team fight to come back and win.
This is very true, and speaking of which, Barbiturate's invisible team off to the side. Ollie not looking like he's in a good spot right now, and they're not going to really do anything about that. Not a really good angle to fight this, especially with the tower still up. Gonna try to push this one down though. Godex Anime is off to the side, charging the ultimate. That's a double fear, and Jinx is going to go down with the quickness. And Barbiturate's getting out of tower range, loading in some more spray and pray autos. That's going to be 2 going down in the mid lane, and they should be able to pick that tower up with ease. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we got a top lane fight going on there. Hook shot is going to hit, is going to trade some damage actually. Valiancy not taking a scratch so far. Trying to get out of that Hextech ultimatum is going to be dropped. PJ Salt should go down here to Valiancy. Good 1v1 on the Camille. Using that shutdown and doing as much damage as you possibly can. Barbiturate sped up by Lulu isn't going to have an angle to really fight this. Like you said, when Twitch ultimate is down, not much of a champion.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not going to be looking to team fight right now. And Valiancy very well played on that 1v1. Play your ranges, get the Q2, use the true damage to really punish the Urgot when he walks up. And you saw that. This is a Hallbreaker Urgot who really wants to split push. But when you're in against a champion who has true damage, I mean, you're not getting any benefit from the armor and magic resist bonus that you get from that. So well done on to Valiancy, because now he has kind of created a game state where this Urgot doesn't really want to side lane into him.
Very true. Baron is being started by NWT. Good lord, I have not seen this play at least this confidently, but they are not in the area. Wash is not able to respond to this timely. It's at 7,000. They don't do it terribly fast, but they are getting double TP'd on. Is not going to result in much, but the fight is going to start, and Barbiturates is going to spray and pray his life away, or his life to it, as Sunny goes in. It is looking very close so far. Health bars are going low for NWT. They're getting punished for this play, but it is going to be Trundle going down, or it is going to be Nautilus going down as well, with Lulu and GodX Anime and Urgot off to the side. Barbiturates is trying to clean this up as much as he can, and it's going to be 3 for 3 so far, very even so far. It's going to go into the favor of Wash, though, because with, well, bleh. Excuse me, let me go ahead and reset my vocals here. Twitch and Zillion can apply a little bit more pressure than Camille and Galio can, but they're not going to use anything for it. It was an even trade on the Baron somehow. Wash really punishing them for that, but it wasn't really much of a punish.
Yeah, just taking a Baron flip at that point in the game. This is 25 minutes on the clock, and your Baron take at that point was a Gale Force Jinx with Zeal. There's no way you're going to take that Baron quickly. There was a bunch of damage that came on to both Wash and to NWT, but basically, I mean, they navigated a team fight about as well as they could. The Wednesday was zoned from getting his ultimate onto a priority target. PJ Salt was in the backline taking massive amounts of damage, and it didn't really provide that much sustained tanking after that. So, I mean, as far as it could go, good team fight for NW2, especially as far behind as they were and how they managed to close it. But here we go. Here's another one.
Bringing it right back to the start. They don't have Twitch for this fight, but Ollie getting a good hook to start something that turns into nothing. Good on Wash to call it off before something happens. With Spray and Pray going out on Sunny. Sunny, she's not very tanky, is going to be taken very low. Kimmy, a reset follows suit. Ollie taken very low himself.
Oh, Ollie could
They're going to be able
to.
to.
The poison is still taking.
The poison shouldn't tick. The poison should not kill Ollie from that. It is going to result in a tier 2, though, in the mid lane, and they're pushing up for more, potentially. They could even turn this into a Baron if they really so wanted to, but it looks like they're just going to try to open up the base.
Yeah, definitely opted to break the base. GodX Anime in view, so you know that the ultimate isn't going to come in just yet. But you saw, once again, this Twitch is hyper-fed, and Give Me a Reset just kind of walks up, is trying to get the autos out, and 3 autos, and you're done. So the one tap is definitely there already. And with that Lord Dominus coming out, there hasn't been that much. It's good ultimate from
GodX
GodX
Anime is going to get an ultimate, and Zanya's on 2 of them. Ollie's going to be taken down for this one for sure. PJ Salt picking that one up, and they're going to turn that one into the sole point. That's going to be Hex Dragon going over to Wash after that one. Very well played. Didn't open up the inhibitor just yet. Are they going to start it? Yeah, they are. And this should be an uncontested Hex Dragon for them. Jinx Rocket is up. Could potentially steal. Depends on if she wants to throw it. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. Goodness me. This one looks pretty good.
Yeah, definitely looking good. Very difficult to team fight at this point where the front and back is so dangerous. And the ultimate coming through from either of these heavy AoE champions, both the Zillion, who with his double bombs just headed right onto the Fiddlesticks as he went in. So much AP damage went off that even though Twitch didn't have his ultimate, there was just no real way to sustain through that. And these team fights are just so difficult to navigate now that Twitch is so far ahead, because you can't just send your Camille bum rushing into the backline and expect to kill him. And at that point, who's really going to get these kills on Barbiturates in the team fight unless he's massively out of position? Oh god, it's a 4,000 gold lead for the Twitch and from the Twitch Jinx comparison. It's 1-8 for Give Me a Reset. And he's trying.
Oh man, he is. It's unfortunate. The early game for the Jinx was not very fun for him, and the mid to late game is looking about just the same. Only 20 CS down, but it's not going to matter too much when the Twitch is a full item ahead of you.
Yep, 11-1 as the higher DPS item from the Kraken Slayer. Now, I actually am a big proponent of Gale Force, especially in games like this, because you either don't have it and you die way more often than you would with it. Plus, you do need to get a certain amount of autos for the true damage from the Kraken to actually outpace the execute damage from the Gale Force. So it is a very close comparison, closer than a lot of people think. But at this point, your team fight is just so difficult, and now this is just the 5v5 death ball that we should be expecting to see for. I want to say the next 5 to 10 minutes, as they're going to look to try to collect up this Baron, which is going to be the next point of focus.
They don't know exactly where NWT are in their own jungle. However, they are grouped. Urgot ready with the TP, Camille ready with the TP, Barbiturate getting some damage on that tier 2, trying to get as much as he can for the team. Isn't gonna look to amount to so much, at least for now. Baron is up. They could make a play for it here at any moment. They have the wheel.
Yeah, they just at this point, their Wash is probably just concerned that they have no vision, that how much vision the enemy team has. Do they have any sparing wards onto this Baron pit? Because there's no way you can face check this composition. If you face check Fiddlesticks, you easily lose the game. And with all this vision that has been cleared out, they have to know that there is no vision, and they can just set up a play. There's nothing to stop them from starting this Baron over and over and over and over again, and using the sustain and the extra attack speed and the healing from Fiddlesticks to continuously stay topped off, as they're going to look for a play where there is very much vision, and they know they're not on it yet.
They do.
And here we go.
Oh, but they're on them as Ollie is going to go down with the quickness. They burn 2 ultimates for it. Spray and Pray is down. That is going to be really bad if NWT decides to re-engage this. And Camille is able to take out PJ Salt up in the top lane. Oh my lord. This could be bad if NWT wants to turn this Baron.
Yep, PJ Salt face checking the Camille, and look at that. The Cho'Gath R on the Q is fully online, 2 Qs, and that's all she wrote. But now Valency is going to try to get this Baron. He still does have teleport available, so this could easily just be a big fight. But they're going to opt to just give it over. Not sure that this was necessary. They didn't have the vision, concerned about face checking. But now that Baron coming through, no Rocket is going to be there also. And this is going to be 1 tower trade. And PJ Salt is massively far behind. This split push is definitely the win condition if you're NWT.
This is very true. Valiancy is looking very strong right now. Urgot cannot hold her, even with the Hullbreaker. I'm not much of a fan with Urgot with Hullbreaker because he's a ranged champion and that just got nerfed. However, it is still Hullbreaker, not doing him much favors up in this top lane with Camille, just able to 1v1 him with ease.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to be very difficult. He's 2 levels behind. Actually, 3 levels. I'm sorry. This is a level 18 Camille.
18?
It's not getting any easier on that. It's just been split pushing the game away. And Urgot is one of those champions where his tankiness is really dependent on his resistances, on his shield, and true damage is one of the best mitigators of that. So when Camille gets this far ahead, I mean, she's just going to continuously beat him down over and over and over again. And at this point, for Team Wash, you cannot allow this side lane to be the main focus. You need to try to force group team fights, and this Baron is going to be your big opportunity to do so.
They have it. They have access to it. Soul coming up in 40 seconds if Wash can pick this one up. Ultimates are ready. Summoners on a few of them are ready. It is as close as it can get in terms of this. NWT are not out of this game by any means at all. Sunny off to the side. She's going to have to walk out of that one. Fiddle Ultimate is going to pick up a fear on Valiancy. If Valiancy goes down, it is so bad. But Ollie's going to sacrifice his life. Twitch with the Spray and Pray is going to be enough. They're going to be able to pick up Sunny as well with the Urgot Ultimate. And they should just run it down mid here with Baron. And they could look to potentially end this game off of that fight. Really good from Barbiturate to get that team fight going. Has the IE online. Does so much damage. This one's going to be close. Jinx and Trundle have to fight for this game.
Oh, that's not going to be any. There's not going to be any doubt at this point. This game is going to be all she wrote. Barbiturate having his another list of pop-off performance. Fantastic play on his part Wednesday. Fantastic play with his ultimate usage. And this was his Team Watch dominating a team fight after team fight and consistently getting good engages off. And I mean, Twitch just basically 1v9 that last team fight, instantly killing the Camille we were talking so much about. Didn't have the tankiness for those autos.
That was their win con, stay alive. That was their damage if a team fight broke out. Unfortunately, it did not hold true for NWT. Washed is going to pick up that victory with ease. One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. I really don't like Jinx right now because of how broken she is, and one of my favorite AD carries just happens to be the Rat. Love to see him thrive 13-1 on a beautiful, beautiful game played by Barbiturate. Very, very well played. Any last thoughts on this game?
No, I just wanted. The only thoughts I have is just how big impactful Barbiturate has been in these last couple of matches, and all their wins. It's usually headed around this bot side, around this carry, getting as much damage out as he can. And when it comes to these pocket picks, I mean, he's fine taking this matchup into the Jinx. This is the second time he's played Twitch, and he's comfortable with this matchup. So this might be something that other teams need to look to scout out and say, hey, Barbiturate is the only one who's willing to play this champion, and it seems to be working out pretty well with pressuring out this Jinx, at least in the mid game when she really is vulnerable to that ultimate all-in. So, yeah, well done onto this bot lane's part, putting another pick in the back of their heads to see, maybe, hey, maybe you need to ban and then leave something else up.
Absolutely. Team Wash are going to take game 2 of the night. Stay tuned because we got game 3 coming right afterwards. Don't go anywhere.
Hello folks, Chris Edgeworth here with our second interview tonight, and I'm joined by the victorious Johnny Tsunami of Team Washed. How are you feeling after the win?
Feeling pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Let's get right into it with the thoughts prepping for this game. What were your thoughts overall on what you folks had prepared for in this matchup, and what you ended up bringing into this, pulling out of this draft rather, and what you ended up against?
So unfortunately, I wouldn't be the right person to ask because I was taking a nap whenever we did the draft, and I texted Barbiturate. I just said, just put me on whatever you want. Like, I'm tired. And he said, you're on Lulu. And I was like, wow, it's the first game Lulu hasn't been banned in a long time. So, I mean, it looks like we drafted a make Twitch go fast and buff them up comp, and it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it did exactly what it said on the tin. Turns out Zillion and Lulu buffing Twitch is pretty decent. Nobody could have known this. We're literally talking about, I want to say, Whirler will have to correct me, but I think we were talking about this like before the first game. Just like I was just talking about like how I play League, and my MO is I'm a Mastery 7 Lulu, and I just love to bring exhaust and just whimsy on people and just make sure that they're not playing League of Legends whenever I see them on my screen. So really enjoy the Lulu angle. Let's talk a little bit about the Lulu angle and playing through bot. Barbiturate sounds like he tailor-made this lane for him to pop off. What were your thoughts overall on how the lane played out and generally playing through bot in this team?
Well, normally whenever in most of the games we notice like we get camped pretty hard. I mean, I had to blow flash due to the invade at level 1. And so there was just a lot of pressure on the lane. They came to lane immediately, so we knew the jungler was going to be pathing down, ganking it around 3 minutes. But we had to play passive. We had to give up some CS and just get through it with the Nautilus hook. But it got to a point where we could just, Ryan just said, "Hey, Will, speed me up. I want to space glide on him," and then I would just put all my stuff on him, and he'd run at Jinx and just W keyed, and it ended up working out.
Yeah, at a certain point in the game, especially when you actually get the items on the Twitch already in the early parts of the game, at a certain point you just press the buttons and watch him, rack up additional kills. Just anything. It's pure see hero, kill hero at that point for him. So it was a pretty straightforward game. I felt like, especially with the composition you folks drafted, played out perfectly to your outs. And congratulations to Team Washed and to yourself, Johnny. Before we step away, though, for our third game, your opportunity. Any final thoughts you'd like to leave with us on the desk?
I want to shout out to our coach. I don't remember your name, but I was told to shout you out. And actually, I've never talked to you before, but thanks for coaching us. I want to shout out New Wave Tsunami. I'm glad we got to play today. And Surf's Up, Tsunami Brothers. And our ADC is just not as good as everybody makes him out to be, so don't get it twisted.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yep, support man, you gotta make sure they know that they're subservient. He's just a turret. You make him look good.
Definitely, all me.
All right, awesome. Well, Johnny, thank you so much for this interview, folks. We're gonna take a short break, and then we'll be back with our third game tonight. So don't go too far.